As they say, good times don't last forever. My much-needed home time had come to an end, and it was time to get back to the grind. On this day, I was assigned a load out of Des Moines, Iowa with 2 stops, first in Hiawatha, Iowa, and the second in Scott City, Missouri. Hey, I'm Jay the Gallavantor. I've been an over-the-road driver for over a decade, and I document life on the road straight from the dash cam. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into today's ride. As is the norm by now, this video starts mid-drive. If you've seen my past videos, you know why. Dashcam loops and storage issues. If you haven't checked out the older videos yet, I recommend watching them after this. Looks like I started capturing footage just as I approached the Maryville, Missouri exit on I-64 eastbound near St. Louis. Unfortunately, the whole Iowa delivery segment got overwritten. At this point, rush hour had wrapped up and the sun was setting behind me. You can catch the glare on various reflective surfaces. The closer I got to St. Louis, the wider the road became, more lanes, more cars. Naturally, I shifted lanes as needed. If you've ever driven around St. Louis during rush hour, you already know it can get wild. This was tame compared to the chaos it can be. Coming up on the I-270 southbound exit, I always take this route to bypass downtown St. Louis traffic. From there, I link up with I-55 southbound toward Memphis. This is a 1-lane exit, so I get into position early. Pro tip, when handling big rigs, don't do last-minute lane changes here. It can get dicey real quick. The left lane also exits, but that's for I-270 north toward Chicago. Now joining the I-270 southbound flow. To the left, more vehicles merging in. Further ahead, traffic's already moving fast, and from the right, you guessed it, another stream of traffic merging in as the right lane ends. This zone can get tight, but I lucked out with post-rush hour traffic flow. I usually cruise in the second right lane while navigating city areas. It's a balance between exit flexibility and avoiding congestion from merging traffic. Many cities have rules requiring trucks to stay in the two right lanes anyway. I'm now approaching another highly charged area, the I-44 westbound exit to Tulsa, Oklahoma. A tip for those exiting, I always hop on it early on because it's one of those one-lane exits with sharp curves, so I need plenty of time to slow down from interstate speed. Also, there's a bunch of people trying to exit last minute once they realize the second right lane doesn't exit to I-44 westbound, but I-44 eastbound to downtown St. Louis. So as I was saying, there's also guys like this one in the pickup truck who shoot right across. Then also check out the signs up ahead that show exactly what I mean in regards to the exits. You can now appreciate why I stayed in the second right lane. At this point, traffic was smooth and I was cruising with clear lanes ahead. It usually clears a bit after that exit, and then I'm always looking ahead for the other area I consider problematic, the I-55 north and south exits up ahead. So I moved over in anticipation of the I-55 south exit. It being a right exit, I might not have enough time to cross lanes to get to it, so I get in the right lane as soon as I'm able to. As I previously stated, this is a problem area as traffic exits into I-55 and others are joining I-270 eastbound toward East St. Louis, Illinois. I joined the I-55 traffic flow, and now I've got to move over again to the second right lane because the next few miles have numerous exits and traffic exiting and merging. So it's a prime area for possible accidents if you aren't alert and observant. This area has a lot of shopping centers and is a high activity area away from St. Louis. It's mainly residential with some commercial building mixture, so there's always heavier traffic. There are also warehouses around here. I've picked up and delivered loads in this area before. By this time, some fatigue is setting in. I've been driving for the better part of the day, and I'm about to run out of hours of service. So I've got my game plan in mind to stop as soon as possible. Driving does take a toll on your mind. It's not a brainless activity where you just hold the steering wheel and drive. I have to factor in all the things I've told you in the video and much more to ensure my safety and that of my fellow road users. You can't sleep on the job while operating 80,000 pounds of metal and cargo. There's no chance for error, no oopsies. If that happens, there are consequences. I stick to my trip plan, but will always alter it at the very first sign of fatigue. Now I have left most of the residential areas behind. Most of this area now is hilly, wooded areas with some residential and commercial buildings. Hey, thanks bro for the signal and proper passing. I'm always appreciative to see my fellow professional drivers being professional as they should be. I was approaching my stop for the day near Pevely, Missouri, and was going to continue the following morning. There being construction and all, I had to slow down considerably. Not to mention the exit has a steep downgrade. Finally, I was stoked to see the parking area, and there was even a choice, the one on the right or on the left. I chose right. I also wanted some decent food, and there seemed to be some here. Now folks, that was the end of the journey for me on that day. If you enjoyed my content and would like to watch more of it, please check out the video on the right corner. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share, like, and comment on my videos. I enjoy getting feedback on what you'd like me to improve on and any other suggestions that may help my channel deliver a better entertainment experience. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.